Hello everyone, this is Navid and here present to you a light robot EC series quick tutorial for programming with LUA. Of course, this course is for programming our robot with LUA language. This is not a course for teach you how to program with LUA in general with pure LUA language. Here I'm going to show you some functions and some abilities to use LUA with our robot. Okay, first of all I want to introduce you for some people who might interested to learn LUA by themselves. The websites of tutorials point have a very great tutorial here. You can go step by step and read everything about LUA structures by itself, and also you can run some code with their online interpreter. I found it very efficient and it is so easy to use. It's really easy to use and safe. Okay, I will share this link below, and if you like you can use it by yourself. First of all, I should explain something about our robot. Here I have my VNC connected to our robot and also my notepad connected to our robot with SFTP service, and I'm ready to go. And also this is the user manual. As you can see here, I'm using robot version 2.18, and this manual came with this version. So if you have different version, you need to refer to your version manual and read that LUA manual, because if you have some older version, you might have some of those functions that I'm going to use here not available on your version, or you might get some errors. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let me close this window and also this window. Okay, this is our robot teach pendant page. If you want to know how to use the VNC viewer with our robot, or how to connect the Notepad++ with SFTP plugin to our robot, I will also share these two videos, these previous tutorial videos downstairs, and you can use it. Okay, here is the teach pendant page, and this is the files, and we are going to use here a lot because this is the information console of our robot. And right now I run some code here and I can see the result of that here. And also, if sometimes while we are programming we have some wrong logic or some problems, it's when LUA interpreter rise an error, you can see the error here, and after that you need to reset the alarm here. For run the scripts, here you should go to the process script and choose your file. As you can see, if I connect my Notepad++ SFTP service, okay, now I'm inside the robot file system. In the LUA directory, you can see anything in this LUA directory, any file, any LUA file, you can see it here, and I can choose different files. So here I'm going to choose, I've already choose hello world file, and I'm going to save it. If you change files, you need to save it to tell the interpreter run this one now, and after that I'm going to run it. For running it, just click here on the run and it will run. Okay, let's see, here was the time that the LUA script was loading, and after it's load, this is the last message you're going to see from the interpreter, and after that this is your code. And of course this file I run is different from the file I have here, and it's showing me different result. So let's get started. You might see this example before I also take a video of this example and upload on YouTube. Here we have a first programming for our robot file, and I should explain what is these two. These two commands came from our robot internal module. The internal module is a library that works with the interpreter, LUA interpreter, and give you some abilities to work with our robot. It's something like here we have a delay or print on that screen, on that information console, or some more advanced options, for example read or write some data on the robot variables memory, or do some calculation like inverse or forward kinematics. But I'm gonna get to that later. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I just want to make short videos to make it more efficient. Okay, let's save this first. You can see the file has been saved in the robot file system. The first line we have a sleep. It's a delay actually, and came from our internal model. For why I put a delay at the beginning, you should know for each time you're coding, you must put a delay here, and it doesn't need to be long like 1 second. 100 millisecond can be also enough. This will help the internal interpreter to sync up with the internal module. And if you don't use that step, your first printing, because it's going to run very fast and it do not catch a time to synchronize, so your first printing will last. And if you have printing in your code, you want to print something on the screen, you need to have a small amount of delay. I normally prefer 1 second, but 100 milliseconds also can be enough. Okay. And on the second line, this is the delay and the alight print commands are two most frequent commands that you are going to use in internal model. Since you always need these two, and with this one, it's work same as LUA print function, and it can print out strings, numbers, float numbers, or table arguments for you. And at the next line, we describe some variable, we assign some variables. Here we say, okay, we have a and it is an integer variable, and the value is 10. Then we have a b, and it is 3.14, it's a float. And after that we have c, and c is a table which have two arguments here. For printing numbers, this function can handle them by itself. You can print numbers very easily, but for printing tables, you should know also LUA, because of the data structure in LUA, you cannot print tables directly. The whole table is not possible. So you should print them by arguments, and you can separate them. And in this case, it will work very easy. So let's run it. again and see what's going to happen. Of course, you don't need to save because I've already saved this file before. And yeah, as you can see, different results. First, it prints out the hello world, and then do these assignments and then print these. So, this is the first time coding. Let's go to the manual and get more familiar with other functions of our robot. Okay, I've already explained for you about different types of variables in LUA, and let's try some controlling statements like if, else, and then have some loop statements. Okay, here, let's say, okay, I don't need you anymore. Let's say A is 15. And if A is bigger than 10, then light underline print it is bigger okay, else let's okay print just print A by itself, so and end. Yeah. So let's save this and run this code and see what's happened now. Okay, as you can see, it will enter the first sentence, yeah, and will not run the else. And what if I change it to, for example, 3? So in that case, this statement should not run, and these sentences should be run. Yeah. Let's try. Yeah, so everything gets okay. Let's continue. So here in LUA we have while loop, repeat loop, and last but not least for loop. Of course, for loop is very popular in every programming. You always need it. The differences between while loop and the repeat loop is here. It's first check the statement here and then do the body. But in repeat, first do the body and then check the statement at the end. This is the only differences between these two. So I don't want to make this video so long, so I'm gonna skip this one and only check the while loop and for loop. Okay. Now we don't need you anymore. And let's say while 1 is equal to 1. is print A and then end. And okay, let's say how to control this loop. We can say okay, A is equal to 0, and if A is smaller than 5, and here I'm gonna say A plus equal 1. Of course, this line will not work because it is not a C language, but I just want to show you about the error and how it throws the error in our robot. So let's try it. Okay, let's run, and as you can see, here we have an error, and let's we need to reset here, reset the alarm here. Yeah, the status is alarm, robot is under alarm, and you can see it says in this file, hello world file, and line 8, near this you have some syntax issue, of course, because it's not a C language. So I need to say A plus 1, and click here and run. So, as you can see, this was the while loop. Okay, trying a for loop here. As you can see, I cannot copy this. Okay, this is a for loop here. Okay. I'm gonna change this while to 4. Okay, basically here it will we have a variable with the name I, and its engaging value is 10, and what is our target is 1, and what is our step is -1. This is LUA basic, and it's going to say, okay, I, you are 10, and we want you to achieve this value. Yeah, and each time this loop came to the end, received to the end, this step will initial to this. For example, when it arrive to this end, the I will become 9, -1, and then -8, -7, -6. So this is quite long, so I want to change this to 2. It will go there until this I, until this I is bigger than this number. It will run. And here I want to print I, and here I don't need it. Okay, saved. Let's run it. As you can see, because our step is -2, it will reduct the number 2 by 2. So, and it go until it be less than 1. Yeah, here it was 2, it's run, but the next step it is 0, so the loop will not run and go to the end. So what happened if I give it a wrong logic? Let's see. For that I want to show here to make it visible. I want to do this alight underline print. just to make sure when it's start and when it's end, so we can see it on the console. Okay, and here end. And so I want to say that our step B2, so it will never achieve this target. It is 10, and if it is wrong, if this loop long, it will be 12, 14, 16. But let's see what happens. As you can see, this loop, because it have a wrong logic, never start working, never initiate. Okay, so let's continue. Until now, we learned how to make the first program by LUA on our robot, how to run it. We get some idea about how the controlling statements works, how while loop, how for loop works. Now let's put a little time on the operators. All of the operators on our interpreter is basically same, and with the normal LUA 5.3. Actually it is a LUA 5.3 interpreter on our robot, and our operating system is a Linux. So if you have a code that run on those systems, on our system totally can be also same and normal. Here you can see some mathematical operators, bitwise operators, and comparing operators, and we already use this. So, and if you want to end or not a bool value, you can use this. Okay. Here we have a table of priority on our robot. Priority of the operators. As you can see here, this is the page 5 of manual. But of course, if you have some experience in programming, you already know them. Okay, so this was it, our part 1. It's only an introduction, a quick introduction. In the next parts, I'm going to use some of functions on the internal model. For example, we can control IOs, we can get the position of the robot, we can do the inverse kinematics, and later I will teach you how to plant a trajectory and move the robot. One thing that we should know, with LUA language you cannot move the robot. The internal model of the LUA will not offer you any movement service. But it will offer you ability to do some advanced calculation that you cannot do on JBI, and also have some communication. With this LUA you can start a server on our robot, UDP server, TCP server, or you can have some Modbus communication on the TCP or on the RS485 serial RTU Modbus, and some kinds of these abilities that will provide for you with internal model. If you want to run the robot, you will need to do programming in JBI. So, and also one of the requirements of this course is that you need to know how to program our robot in JBI 2. That is for movement and control the robot. Here is more about calculations. Okay, thank you for watching, and if you have some question, you can let me know in the comment sections. and if you like this video, please push the like button, and hope see you in future. Bye bye.